Greetings and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to answer a few questions I've been getting about hoodoo powders, because some concerns are that when they buy hoodoo powders, such as powders to hex a person, or what else have I got? To dominate your man, or even softer ones, a happy marriage powder. So these are pre-made powders, and the questions are around if they buy the powder from some witch shop or online, is this authentic? So I'm going to give you two things to think about, okay? There's two ways you can look at this. Firstly, that when someone is creating a powder, when the original person's creating the powder, they're actually doing a ritual at the same time as they're preparing the powder. So you're relying on that person to do a ritual. For example, this one's I command my man. So you're relying on the person that's preparing that to draw down a spirit and to call upon a spirit to ensure that this powder actually does the job it's meant to do for the person. So that's one way of looking at powders. You're also thinking that the powders might be cut by different ingredients, but once again, if the spiritual intention is there and it actually worked, then this should be pure. But another way to look at it is that if you're really a purist and you're a witch, you're looking more at what time of the year, how were the herbs cut? How were the flowers and trees and bushes and plants originally cut? Were they cut at the right time of the year, or were they cut at the right time of the day? Did they consider planetary influences? Was it, the moon phase? That all matters when you're talking about magic. And then every system will have its own nuances, what's right and wrong, and what you should and shouldn't do. So here is the insurance card for the whole lot of it. Unless you're cutting your own flowers and herbs from your own garden, following those rules and traditions, and you're coming inside and you're drying them and you're preparing them in the spiritual manner that they're meant for the end intention, and then you're bottling them and labeling them, then maybe even still, and that's a lot of time and effort, right? Even still, that's not going to guarantee that you do better magic. Okay, the insurance card to this is when you get these powders, what you do is you consecrate, if you will, or ensure that you do your own blessing or your own ritual on the powders when you receive them yourself. And that, can be said for any type of supplier at all, from, the online stores to, your local witchy poo store that's just down the street. Just make sure that you do a ritual on your own powders and give those powders its right intention. For example, I don't make many powders myself, but I do make my own June powder. And I know it is such a process to actually make this damn powder, because not only do you have to get really toxic ingredients from source, insects and snake sheds, and depending on where in the world I am, I'll get some toxic herb or flower, and you have to dry the damn flower, and then you have to make the oil if you're making the oil, and make sure like the oil is placed in an environment that is really pumping hate into the vibration of the product. So energetically it gets really like, the oil is full of angry energy and it's really toxic, right? So like here in Australia, I'm back in Sydney right now, I put redback spiders in the product. If I'm over in Hawaii, I might get some, we call them blue bottles. I forget the word for them. They're those little blue things that had the long tail. So yeah, you just put in these toxic things, and it's a real damn process. But I know that particular herb of mine, and whether I make it a herb or a powder or an incense out of it, I know that it's going to be, the spiritual intention's already there. But if I was to buy my June powder from elsewhere, as I have before, when I come home, I infuse that same energy that I've used to make my own June powder onto the product, the store-bought powder, and then I have no worries about the effectiveness of that powder, and I've just got to leave it at that. So, you know, in life, there's so many things you can stress about, and you can get all these wonderful powders really, really cheap, already prepared for you. And you don't have to worry about the whole expensive process of doing it yourself. You get them really affordably, and just do your little spiritual intention work when you actually get them, and you'll be fine. Okay, so I hope that answers your questions on that and makes people feel a little bit comfortable about buying store-bought products or online products from wherever you get them. All right, folks, good luck and enjoy your magic.